by relaxing a little bit over the block or just laying flat on the back if that feels better. And begin just by taking those legs a little bit wider apart. Good. Just maybe a little bit wider than hip width so that you can just allow the legs to relax. And again, this is helpful for creating a little bit of space around the pelvis and around the hips. Just helps you to loosen a little bit here. Good. Taking a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, just see if you can relax the arms and the legs a little bit more. Good. And bring yourself to your practice. When we say this, what we mean is it's just about separating yourself from your everyday life, just drawing a line under what your week's brought you so far. Maybe leaving all of your troubles, all your cares, all of your health problems, whatever it is that you've got going on, try and leave them outside of the room. And just focus for a moment on your own natural breath pattern. So a nice gentle breath in and a long breath out. Good. Inhaling and exhaling. Well done. And as you come to your breath, just start to allow the breath to be nice and autonomous. So no restraint or control on your breathing at the moment. Just this very gentle breath at your own pace, what we call autonomous breath. Good. And as we work with the autonomous breathing, just noticing how your breath pattern is. So it might be that you've got this nice gentle soft breath pattern. It might be that you breathe in quite a shallow way, and that's okay. That's quite natural sometimes. It might be that you breathe a little bit deeper naturally, and that's also okay. There is no right or wrong way to do autonomous breathing. It just happens naturally. But sometimes we find it quite hard. For a long time when I was in class at the beginning of the session, someone would say to me, breathe naturally, and I'd immediately start to control my breath. It was almost like, like a conditioned response. So just relax the breathing, come into a breath pattern that suits you. Good. With every out breath, just letting go of any tension in your body and working towards this concept of finding a lightness in your body. Good. Breathe in and breathe out. Really nice. And as you bring yourself to your breath, just start to scan around the body gently, just noticing any areas of tension, any specific areas for yourself that you feel the need to work with today or take care of, more importantly. These classes are very much about self-care, looking after yourself. So we're not forcing the body into any shapes that don't feel comfortable. We're certainly not forcing the body into any shapes that feel painful. And it is always okay to adjust your body however you want to. So even if in the middle of something, say when you're laying down, if you need to sit up, if you need to come into a child's pose or lay on your back or whatever feels right for you, it's always okay. This isn't the kind of class where we all have to look exactly the same all the time. And so I'll begin to just guide you through some nice gentle movements. Just we start by bringing the feet a little bit closer together. Feel a little bit of activity between the thighs. I want you to just maybe squeeze the thighs together and towards one another a little bit. Good. The toes gently point up towards the ceiling. And you just feel that little gentle pressure as you press away with the heels. But nothing too firm, nothing too strong, just a little bit of connection into the feet. Now as you bring your awareness to the feet, I want you to just gently draw the outside edges of your feet up a little bit if they're pronating. So I want you to imagine that you're laying down on the floor and you've got your feet up against the wall, against the skirting board. And those feet are nice and balanced. Good. Really nice. Breathe here. Well done. And then with your next breath in, the arms are either going to rise up overhead, if that feels good, or they're going to just gently come out to the side, and you find that little bit of openness through the chest and a little stretch around the ribs. Good. Arms come behind you, backs of the hands all the way down to the floor. And as I say, if that doesn't feel good for you, you're going to gently widen the arms a little bit. And maybe relax them a bit if that feels better. Good. Breathe here. Really nice. Feel that lovely stretch. You're going to point the toes away now. And then feel that pull just through the front of the feet. Notice the change in the anatomy of the legs as you point those toes away. Good. And then just push away into the toes and fingers in a comfortable way. So if you feel that you're overstretching at all, just dial it back a bit, work 50% if you need to. Good. Maybe you're opening the palms of the hands, stretching into the fingers. Good. Maybe you're resting a little bit today. Remember, this is your practice, so what works for you might not be what works for somebody else. So however you feel, just work with it. One more deep breath in through this stretch, and then as you exhale, arms gently come all the way back. Good. At your own pace. Well done. We're going to step the feet up towards the groin. Bring the feet nice and close up towards the bottom. Good. And then start to bring the soles of your feet together and begin to press firmly between the soles of your feet. So you can feel the toes touch, you can feel the backs of the toes maybe pressing towards each other, and bring the awareness to your big toes first of all, and see if you can press both of them together, and then the next toes, and then all the way down to the little toes. See if you can be nice and symmetrical through the feet. And also see if you can press as much of the skin of the feet or the socks just closely together. So feeling the heel, feeling the sole. Good. Feeling the balls of the feet touching. Well done. And just relaxing here a little bit. If it feels tight, you can take the hands just gently under the thighs to give yourself a little bit of support. That's always okay. Good. Breathe here. And with every out-breath, seeing if you can just relax those muscles around the inner thighs a little bit. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, nice work. Feel that lovely flatness across the front of the pelvis. Beautiful. Really nice. And again, if it feels nice for you, you're either going to take the arms just out to the side gently, or overhead if you like that big stretch around the ribs. So whichever works for you here. Good. Connecting with your breathing. So Supta Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, reclined bound angle. Find your breath, find the breath in the back of the throat, just listening gently to that breath. Really enjoy the symmetry of the pose. We're relaxing the belly a little bit here, so as you breathe in, maybe there's a little rise and fall of the belly. Good. One more breath in. We're going to bring the palms of the hands together at the heart centre. So coming into Anjali Mudra or Heart Mudra. And for a moment, bring your awareness to your heart centre. So your heart centre, also known as Anahata, governs the relationships with yourself, with the world. Good. Sending yourself maybe a little bit of love and compassion today, if that's what you need. Or maybe some strength. Maybe you're looking for some peace and tranquility. Whatever it is, this is a good place for you to visualise how that's going to be for you. And in yoga we work a lot with intention. We use energy from the practice to bring intention to bring attention to things that we want to achieve in life, whether that's just a personal or professional goal, whether it's just about finding some peace and contentment. And if you are a person who is contented, which you are contented and you feel completely at ease with things, and you know things are going nicely for you, just use the space to send out some love and healing to the world. Good. Maybe visualising that any way that you want to. Good. Nice and gently relax the hands. Beautiful. Nice work, everybody. And then gently again, come back to the breath. So notice the breathing, the inhale and the exhale. And as we work with this conscious breathing, where we're bringing a little bit of awareness to our breath, this This has a real impact into our autonomous nervous system, into the vagus nerve. Helps to calm the mind, relax the body. And even if you just work with this opening sequence on a regular basis, you can just take 5 minutes at home, just laying over a block or just laying flat, taking a little bit of time just to move gently and send an intention to your day. That's a good home practice to get into. Good, well done. We're going to gently bring the knees all the way back up to the centre, pressing the feet and the hands firmly into the mat, just feeling that nice connection there. And then if you have the block or the cushion under you, you're just going to roll away. Good, and then come back down onto the floor. Well done. And just rest your spine for a moment. Just breathe here. Feel at peace on your mat. And I always like to think of the mat as being like a little safe space to be in. So, you know, your mat, you can take it anywhere with you. You can roll it out anywhere and just lay on it and just feel like you're at peace with some safety. Good. Breathe here. Beautiful. We're going to take a little diagonal stretch, but I want you to take a hold of your block and pop the block underneath your hips. So if I've given you a slightly deeper one, or if you use a slightly deeper one, just give it a go and see how it feels. But if there is any pain there, then always go back down onto the slightly lower block. Good. Make sure it's balanced, so it's underneath the sacrum, kind of the top of the bottom really. You feel nice and relaxed here. Almost in a little supported bridge pose. Good. Now take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to just slowly extend away with that right foot. And then the left arm is going to lift, and we find our diagonal stretch here. So this is a nice way to lengthen the arms and the legs away a little bit, just to increase the strength in the arms and legs, and to find some space through the body. So I want you to imagine that somebody is pulling that right toe and pulling the left fingers, and you're just getting this really nice comfortable stretch here. So it's not too hard, we're not struggling or out of breath with it, but we've got a nice strong but eased stretch. Good. And you should feel a little stretch just in the front of the pelvis here, maybe on that right side. Good. Now gently slide all the way back, bringing the foot and the arm back. And then I want you to stay with that right foot and pick up the right knee and just start to draw the knee in towards you a little bit here. Flex your foot, take it all the way up towards the ceiling and find a lovely stretch here. So you're pressing down with your left foot, but your right foot is pressing up towards the ceiling. Good, as if you're standing on the floor there, so with the heel flexed and gently pushing away. Good, now deep breath in, long breath out. Now draw your core in here for a moment, bring the awareness to the knee on your left side, and then very gently you're going to keep that right leg nice and solid, and then your left knee is going to come out softly to the side, really softly, just as far as it can go until you feel a little pull. And then I want you to relax here for a moment with that thigh, relax with the hip muscle here, the muscles that go around the hip. And just soften here, squeeze your belly back though. Good. One more breath in. As you exhale, bring the knee all the way back up. Well done. And then take your left hand to your right thigh, and you're going to slide the hand all the way up towards the knee and maybe beyond, but only as far as it wants to go, just to increase that stretch in the back of the leg. Good. Breathe here. One more breath in. Exhaling, just release the leg a little bit and then bring the foot all the way down. Good. Nice work. Take a moment just to realign the spine and just line up your hips on the block as well so that you feel nice and relaxed. And we're coming back to that right leg again. Now this time I want you to pick up the knee and then cross the ankle over your left knee. And then open that knee out to the side. So you're opening the right knee out to the side a little bit, and you'll just be feeling a little stretch in the hip on that right side. Good. Now with your spine and your sacrum still nice and connected into your block, I want you to press down with the hands and the arms and then pick up that left foot and see if you can draw the leg in a little bit. Good, and that will intensify the stretch. But remember, everybody will have a different point where you feel that stretch. So for some of you, it might even be that you just lift the heel up. Some of you might need to bring the foot all the way in and really draw that leg in. Good. Remember, you can always support yourself if you need to as well. Good. Now, breathe here. Once you find a comfortable place, let go across the front of the pelvis and breathe. Good. One more breath in, nice and gently. We're going to release, the foot comes down, and then we uncross the leg and just realign that spine again. Good, nice work. So this time we're going to move over onto that left side. So deep breath in. As you exhale, extend away with your left foot, and then the right arm lifts. Good. So take a breath in as you draw your core in, so squeezing your belly button back towards your spine. And then as you exhale, reach into fingers and toes. Taking 2 or 3 nice long breaths here. Just finding that length and strength in the arm and the leg. Good. See if you can connect into the muscles, so squeezing the legs a little bit. Breathe here. Inhale deeply and exhale. Good, well done. One more breath in. We're going to slowly draw the arm back and bring the leg all the way back. And then again, realign those hips. Pick up your left knee this time, and then flex the foot and take the left foot all the way up. Find that lovely oppositional stretch. So you're pressing upwards with the left foot, downwards with the right foot. Feel that connection into the thigh a little bit here, and make sure you feel comfortable. Good. Now, press away with the heel of the extended leg and draw the leg a little bit closer. And then I want you to keep nice and firm in that leg, the one that's pressing up towards the ceiling, and then open the knee out to the side on the other side. Good. And just take a moment here to relax into it. Let go of the hip muscle around it. Good. Breathe here. Keep squeezing the abdomen though. The belly is squeezing a little bit. Beautiful. One more deep breath in and exhale, bring that knee all the way back. Good. And then we're taking that right hand to the left thigh and we're sliding the hand all the way up towards the ankle. Good. Keeping a nice straight leg if you can. Maybe a gentle micro bend because you don't want to be locking those knees. Good. And find that lovely big stretch. Good. Breathe in and breathe out. Gently relax. Well done. Pop the foot all the way down on the floor again. Realign the hips and then pick up the knee and you're going to cross the ankle over the opposite knee. Good. Now a little bit of movement here if you need to. So you can kind of open the knee and maybe pulse a little bit if it feels tight. And then once you feel nice and secure where you are, secure on your block, you're going to just start to press down with the hands and the arms and the shoulders and then lift that right foot away from the floor. Good. And find that lovely stretch into the hip a little bit. And it will work around the hip joint and around the bottom a little bit. Good. And again, just remembering it's all within your control. So if it feels too tight or anything doesn't feel right, you can always pop the foot down. Breathe here. Nice inhale, long exhale. Good. Well done. Softly placing the foot back down on the mat. We're going to uncross the legs. Good. Now, take a moment here to breathe. As you exhale, just relax your shoulders and then begin to draw your shoulders a little bit away from your ears, almost squeezing the shoulder blades towards one another. And then I want you to extend away with both of your legs. So, pointing the toes. Feel that activity in the thighs and squeeze your legs together. Bring the legs as close together as you can and feel that lovely big pull across the front of the pelvis. Good. Now breathe here. Deep breath in, long breath out. Nice work, everyone. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Really nice. One more breath in. And then keeping your shoulder blades exactly where they are, I want you to just gently lift the hands away from your mat And then bring the hands all the way back so that the back of the hands come down to the floor. Feel that stretch through the armpits, into the chest, but the shoulder blades are staying where they are. Good. Now stretch away into your fingers and toes and bring the palms of the hands together, clasping the hands, pointing those first two fingers away. Good. So I want you to feel the arms against the ears. But again, if it feels uncomfortable, the arms can be wider, so adjust the body if you need to. Lovely deep breath in, squeeze your tummy, long breath out. Good. One more breath in. As we exhale, bring the arms all the way back, and then slide the feet all the way up towards the groin again. Good. And then we're going to come in the other direction, so begin to pick up first your right knee, then your left, flex the foot, and both of your feet, and then take the feet all the way up towards the ceiling. And you've got this block underneath you, and it's giving you a little bit of a lift here, so you're in a very slight inversion where you're bringing the heart a little bit higher up. Good. Now breathe here. Well done. You can relax the legs a little bit if you want to, and you can maybe turn the ankles if that feels nice. You know, and then have a little bit of a play here if you want to. You can maybe take the legs a bit wider, maybe bring them in nice and close, crossing them over, whatever you want to do. If you hear a good old click like I've just had, that's a good thing. Means you're kind of releasing tension and tightness from different places. Good, and then come to stillness, press away with the heel, draw the toes towards your face. Good, find that lovely big stretch through the legs where we're realigning the pelvis here, and this is a great home practice move to do. So if you've got a door or a wall at home you can come and be against it, bringing the bottom as close to the wall as you can, and then you can use the wall for support. And it's really helpful, almost like going to the chiropractor and things, it helps to give you a real adjustment through the hips, because the weight of the legs help with this realignment. You're getting your pelvis back into a really good place. Good. So if you can do this for, 10 minutes a day, just having the legs up against the wall, it'll be really helpful for that realignment. Good. One more breath in, and then you're going to take both of the hands to the top of the thighs and just slide the hands up, seeing if you can draw the legs a little bit closer, maybe reaching the ankles or the toes, but don't worry if not. if it's the knees, that's okay. Good. Breathe here. Well done. Slowly coming all the way back to a central position, and then relax the legs. Good. Hug the knees into your chest, and then one at a time, just pop your feet down onto the floor. Good. Now you're going to just bring the feet so that you're touching the back of the heels, or maybe you're just reaching your fingertips down towards the heels. And then I want you to lift the hips up and away from your block. Good. And slide the block out from underneath you, and then see if you can walk your hands underneath and squeeze the hands together. So clasp your hands and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And you find yourself in your bridge pose here. Now, full connection into the bottom. So really squeeze the bottom, the muscles there. Squeeze across the pelvis and connect into your thighs. And then start to lift your chest a little bit more so that your chest is coming towards your chin. Bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. Now, once you've found a good place to be here, I want you to build that strength by squeezing the legs. Imagining you've got a block between the legs and you're kind of pressing that imaginary block together, really squeezing there. But don't hold your breath, so make sure you're breathing nice and deeply. Big conscious breaths into the chest. Good. With every exhale, see if you can relax across the top of the shoulders a little bit more, maybe lengthening a little bit in the back of the neck. Good. Soften your face. Beautiful, lovely bridge poses, everyone. One more breath in here if you're still up. And then on your next exhale, unclasp the hands, slowly roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. See if you can touch every single vertebrae on the way down. Good. And then when you get to the bottom, the knees fly up towards the chest, and you hug those knees in and relax. Breathe here. So although it's a gentle practice, we can also work quite intensely by bringing that awareness to the body and, you know, connecting into the muscles and the muscular strength that we've got. So breathe deeply in, breathe out. Apanasana, knees to chest pose. I want you to lengthen your spine, seeing if you can almost press the top of the bottom almost down towards the mat. Relax your chin and your head and shoulders. Breathe here. Good, well done. Inhale deeply and exhale. Good work. So both of the feet come down onto the floor this time. And then I want you to pick up your right knee, flex the foot away again, and bring the foot nice and high up towards the ceiling. So this oppositional stretch again, but not on the block this time. Now what I want you to do is open the legs completely. So we're going to open the legs all the way, but one knee is bent, the other one is pressing away. But I want you to try and get an even work through those hips. So if you imagine the knees are lining up into a V shape, but then with the one foot you're extending away on that right side. Squeeze your tummy. Good, nice deep breath in here. One more breath in. Bring the legs nice and close together again and cross them over. Good, now cross over, find a little squeeze here. Good, breathe in. So we're just squeezing the thighs together, crossing those legs over. Then come back to the centre. Press away with the heel. And extend away with your right leg, or with your left leg rather. Right leg is lifted. Good. Now you're going to take your left hand to the outside of that knee, and then you're going to take the right hand and anchor your shoulder blade down, and then bring that leg all the way across the body. Now it might be a couple of inches or so, or it might be that you can keep your shoulder blade down and bring it a little bit further over. Good, breathe here. Really strong through both legs, okay? So really connecting into the muscles, using your strength and drawing your core in. Good, head is in the centre, nice and relaxed. Well done. Now bring the leg all the way back up to the centre. If you need to stretch at any point, you can, so don't feel you have to stay there if you're in pain. One more breath in. And then we're going to swap over and take the leg out to the side. But I want you to support your knee with your right hand, allowing the right elbow to come down onto the floor. And I want you to switch that muscle on in your left butt cheek. Good. And then take the hand to the left hip and keep pressing down here. So big strength through the leg. Good. Breathe here. Press away with your heel. Inhale deeply and inhale and exhale. Good. Was that an explosion? Wow. One more. Have you got fizzy drinks in your bottle for this?
Gin.
Gin and tonic. I love it. One more breath in. And then gently bring that leg all the way back up to the centre and hug the knee in. Good. Hug it in as close as you can. Really nice. Pick up your head and bring your nose towards your knee. Press away firmly with that left heel, maybe allowing the heel to hover a little bit, maybe an inch or so away from the floor. Good. And relax, let go of the leg. Come to Shavasana pose for a moment and just relax everything. Good, and see how that feels on that side. Maybe it feels like the hip has dropped a little bit. That's okay, it might feel like you've got one leg a little bit longer as well. Good, breathe here. One more breath in. Let's very gently just begin to slide the feet all the way back up. Good. And we're going to come to the other side now. So pick up the left knee, flex the foot, send it up towards the ceiling. Oppositional stretch here in the legs. Breath in here and breath out. Find that strength for a moment, drawing the leg a little bit closer towards you if you can. Good. And then with a deep breath in, connect into your core and open the knees outwards. Good. So one leg is bent, the other one is extending away. Good. Find that lovely movement here. So again, it feels a little bit off-centered and a little bit weird, but it's kind of meant to. Good. Breathe here. Nice work, everybody. Keep stretching away, nice and strong with the heel of that left foot, drawing your toes towards you. And then softly bring the leg all the way back. And then we're going to cross the leg over. So cross that long leg over the other one. Good. And again, nice big squeeze between the thighs, connecting fully into those legs, but easing off if you need to. So always, remember the rules are always the same. We don't work too deeply into things if it feels uncomfortable. Good. Strength and ease should be kind of the mantra with everything. One more breath in. Exhaling, bring it all the way back to the centre. Good. And then press away with the heel, and you're going to extend away with that right leg this time. Good. Left arm comes out to the side, anchoring the shoulder down. Right arm reaches around that knee, and then let's gently take it all the way over the body, stretching away with both legs. Good. Squeeze your tummy. So it's quite intense work for these legs. And we kind of build up to it really with a lot of the things that we do in class in general. But sometimes a really strong bit of work for the legs can be really helpful. It can be quite transformational over time. Good. Squeeze your tummy back. We're going to bring the leg all the way back up to centre, and then supporting the knee with your left hand. Press away with the heel. Take the right hand to your hip. Press away with the other heel as well. And try and keep those hips nice and balanced. Good. So you're not popping up with that hip. That right hip isn't coming away. You're trying to really line up those hips. Good. One more breath here. Well done. Gently bring the leg all the way back up. Good. And then you're going to softly just release. Bring the knee down. Bring the leg down. Extend away. Good. Take a couple of little rocks from side to side. Well done. And then come into that Shavasana pose again. Just the arms and legs away from your body a little bit. And just take a deep breath in. And hopefully it will feel nice and evenly balanced on both sides. Good. Really nice. Inhaling deeply and exhaling. Really nice work here. Good. We're going to gently bring those legs together. Slide the hands underneath the bottom here. And point your toes away. Good. We're going to move into fish pose. So squeeze the legs towards one another. So you're bringing those hips in. And before we move up into our fish pose, I want you to think about bringing the kneecaps towards each other. So it's like we're spiraling the thighs in together. So they create a real firm kind of base here. Then squeeze your core, so really draw your tummy back and lift your pelvic floor as much as you can. So you can really feel that internal strength. Good, nice deep breath in. Press into the forearms and then lift your head, lift your torso away if you can. And then start to dome your chest and gently bring the back of the head or top of the head to the mat. Now, of course, if there's anything going on for you and you need to stay on the floor, do so. You might need to just squeeze your shoulder blades together or just stay nice and connected in those legs. But if it feels good to lift the chest, then do so. We're opening into the thyroid a little bit here in the throat. We're working with the chest and with the opening into the heart centre, and we're squeezing the tummy. Nice strong breath in, long breath out. Good. One more breath here. As you exhale, press down into the arms. Use the power of those arms to lift you away and then roll all the way back down. Good. Arms and legs come out to the side. Deep breath in, long breath out. Good. Really relax for a moment because you've worked really hard for a moment. Even though we're laying down at the time, we're still working, quite hard. So, good. Nice work. Lovely. One more breath here. Very gently, we're going to start to bring those arms and legs in a little bit. And then we're going to hug the knees in and release the back. So find some nice release into your lower back. Circling the back if it feels good, or moving in a way that just feels nice. So you're just letting go of any tension that might have built up when we've been working in those intense stretches. Good, well done. And then it's your choice. You can either roll yourselves over onto one side, or you can bring yourself up And we're going to come and find our hands and knees. Good. And a little child's pose to begin. So bringing the hips back, take your knees a little bit wider if you can, and then soften the forehead down to the floor. And find your version of child's pose. So if you need to, you can pop a blanket under your knees. You can have your block as well, just to support the head a little bit, and you can keep the bottom lifted a little bit if that feels better. Good. Breathe here. Well done. Nice work. We're going to very gently just start to breathe into the back of the body. So feel the breath opening the shoulders a little bit. Almost seeing if you can feel the fabric on your skin moving. Good. Nice work. One more breath here, and then we're going to very gently just start to pick up the hips and just creep your fingertips forwards and find your mountain heart pose. So a little bit of work here for the shoulders and the chest. Just press down and draw your hips back. Good. Breathe here. Inhaling deeply and exhaling. Good. And again, whatever shape works for you best. So remember, if you've got any tightness anywhere, you might need to ease into it a little bit. You might want to focus a bit on pressing those armpits down and the chest down. Good, you might want to squeeze your tummy back and maybe work towards having your arms nice and straight. Feeling that connection into the pads of the fingers as well. So sometimes that can make all the difference. Just pressing the fingertips down will help to sort of activate the hands and the muscles in the arms. Good. Now let's gently walk and come all the way back to hands and knees for a moment. And we're going to do some gentle cat-cow work here just to flex the spine. So inhaling deeply. As you exhale, you're going to round the back. And then as you inhale, you're coming into your cow pose. Lovely. Feel that nice movement through your spine. Exhaling into cat and inhaling into cow. And you guys are old hands at this. You know where you're going. Just moving between those two poses. Pressing firmly into your fingers and the knuckle joints. Good. Pressing maybe into the front of the feet if you can as well. And just finding that soft, gentle movement between the two poses. Good. Well done. Gently, we're going to come back to a nice neutral position. Walk the knees back a little bit. And then slowly lower yourself down onto your tummy and make a little pillow with your hands. Good. Well done. Good stuff. Just relaxing a little bit. You can rock the hips from side to side, maybe even picking up the feet and just creating a little bit of a nice massage through the front of the thighs here. You can just feel nice to loosen around those hips. Good. So let's bring the awareness just to the hands for a moment. Bring them to just underneath your shoulders. And then I want you to hug your elbows nice and close. You're looking down towards your mat. You have the option of either keeping the legs nice and close together, pressing the front of the feet down into your mat, or you can take the feet a little bit wider if this feels better for your back. Good. Or maybe even just somewhere in between. Well done. Now draw your shoulders away from your ears. Take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to engage the muscles in the bottom. So squeeze the glute muscles and press the front of your pelvis down into the mat. Good. And then roll your shoulders up and back. And lift the chest away just a fraction. Maybe the lower ribs are just resting on the floor. You're still looking down towards the floor, but you're finding a nice long neck here. Good. We don't want to be crunching in the back of the neck. Good. Breathe here. So, baby cobra pose. Some of you may find you can creep the fingertips back a little bit, maybe lift a little bit higher, but only if that suits your back. Keep hugging everything in and keep squeezing the lower half of your body. Good. One more breath here. And exhaling, you're going to slowly lower down. Bring the hands to a gentle pillow and just rest your head. Turn your toes in and your heels out. Fully relax here. Deep breath in, long breath out. Inhale deeply and exhale. Just letting it go, maybe through the mouth if you want to. Good. Really deep breath in, filling those lungs, exhaling. Beautiful. So bringing awareness to the right foot, you're going to bring the foot as close as you can towards the heel, towards the bottom, and then you're going to take a hold of the foot or the ankle, or if that doesn't work for you, you're just going to work at drawing that foot as close as you can. So don't feel, if you can't get hold of it, that's okay. What I want you to do wherever you are though is focus on the very front of your hip here and press down, so it'll feel a little bit tender, and it's that part where you have the jeans pocket, the little pocket in your jeans. Think about gently engaging and pressing down there and lengthening the knee away from the hip. Good, breathe here. Using your breath, so take a lovely deep breath in, feel it in the belly, and as you exhale, maybe pressing down a little bit more. Good. And then softly relax, let go of that foot, and then you're going to slide your knee out to the side, and then just relax down into it. So soften the bottom, soften the thigh, and allow gravity to just draw that inner thigh towards the floor. Use your breath. So again, we're working on keeping the hips nice and level if we can, but that knee is out to the side just as far as feels good. So if it needs to be a little bit lower, that's okay. Good. If you can get it a little bit higher and keep that connection between the thigh and the floor, then that's okay too. Breathe here. With every exhale, softening into the front of that right hip. Good. One more breath in. Gently release. Bring the leg all the way back. Good. And then just relax here for a moment. Deep breath in, long breath out. Good. Maybe a gentle rock across the front of the pelvis. Good. Bring awareness now just to that left foot. Point the toe away. And then pick up the foot, bringing the heel as close to the bottom as you can. Good. Remembering the action is all about this pressure in front of the hip. Taking a hold of that foot if it feels good for you. Noticing the effect that has on your shoulder as well. So if you've got any pain in your shoulder, again, it might be not for you. Breathe into it. As you exhale, gently pressing down with the front of that thigh, with the front of the hip flexor. Good. Deep breath in, long breath out. And again, one more time. Really nice. And then very softly, just let go of the foot without letting it ping away. And then bring that knee out to the left side. So the left knee slides up. We try and keep that inner thigh down on the floor. So as soon as the inner thigh starts to lift, just relax and hold there if you can. But for some of you, you might be able to bring the knee a little higher. For some of you, it will be a bit lower down, closer to your mat. Good. Breathe here. Both of the hips are balanced. Nice work. Inhaling deeply and exhaling. And again, with every exhale, we're just using the weight just to gently press down or focus on that release through the thigh. Good. Really nice. Let's gently bring the leg all the way back. Beautiful. And we're going to come into a little Sphinx pose. So let's bring the arms in front of us and then bring those elbows so that they come to just underneath the shoulders. Good. And remember these cues about connecting into the pelvis. So press the pelvis down, you're anchoring the pelvis down and you're squeezing the bottom. Good. And then you're going to gently pick up your feet and just bring those feet as close to the back of the head as you can. Good. Well done. Breathe here. Now lift up and out of those, out of the chest, out of your shoulders a little bit. Press your heart forwards. But really think about this connection into the front of the pelvis. This will create space for you. Good. Draw your tummy button back. Tummy button? Telly button. I always nearly say telly button. Belly button. Good. One more breath in. Well done. Exhale, let's rest. We're going to slowly release everything down. Come slowly all the way down. And then a deep breath into the belly. As you exhale, let go of the glute muscles, relax the legs, turn your toes in and your heels out. And really let go and feel a lightness through those legs as you release. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, really nice work this morning. We're going to take the hands just underneath the chest again. Slowly bring yourself all the way back up to your hands and knees. A little bit of cat-cow here. This fairly strong stretch into your back. And back bends, you know, massively beneficial for your health. They help you to keep a healthy spine. Good. Also improve your flexibility. And then gently, knees come apart, and you're going to sink yourself back into a comfortable child's pose. Just relaxing. Let go of any tension in the arm. Breathe in. Find a lightness through your body. Good. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Nice work. So let's very gently bring the hands all the way back and sit back into your bottom and bring those legs out in front of you. And just take a moment just to move the legs a little bit, maybe take them from side to side, maybe circle the ankles. We're going to just bring that right foot in, bring it in nice and close in towards the inner thigh. And then sit up nice and tall. So really feel that connection into your sit bones here. Lift your chest, lift the crown of your head. You're going to inhale and lift the arms all the way up. Gently turn the belly button towards the knee and the toes. And then softly hinging forwards, just to where it feels good for you. Relax the hands down, and then just let go a little bit here. But try not to round the back too much. Try to find the stretch in the leg if you can, and notice the stretch into the hip, where you've got this knee pressing out to the side as well. Good, nice work. So maybe you're at the knee, that's always okay too, but wherever you are, think about pressing away with the heel. That creates this lovely stretch here. And there shouldn't be any pain here in this lower back. Good. Breathe here. Well done. Inhaling deeply and exhaling. And you can just relax into it a little bit here. Good. Lovely stretch through the leg there. One more breath in. Let's lift all the way up as we inhale. Good. Exhaling, bring it down, and then let's change the legs over. Bringing the other one in, we've got the left one in, or the opposite one. Make sure your knees and toes are up towards the ceiling. Balance these hips. Remembering again as well, if you do need to, a block you can just pop under the knee. Good. Well done. Inhale deeply, lift up tall. Arms going to rise all the way up, and exhale as we just come into that lovely Janusharasana, knee to chest, head to knee pose rather. Good, and then just relax into it. Notice if there's any limitations one side or the other. Sometimes it feels a bit different. Feel that sense of release as you breathe out. So it's all about finding the stretch and the strength, and then breathe into it and find some nice release into it. Good, softening. Well done. Really nice. Breathe here. Inhale deeply and exhale. Good work. And then let's gently lift the arms all the way up with your next inhale. Exhaling as you release. And then we're going to take both of the legs out. Find your sit bones, lift up tall, squeeze your belly. Good. As you exhale, you're going to hinge forwards, bend the knees if you need to protect the back. And then the hands gently come down. Good. And then press away a little bit more with those heels. But there shouldn't be, remember, no pain at all in the lower back. So if you do have pain, that means you need to come up a little bit higher and just work into it a little bit more gently. Good. It's all about those little incremental movements. Breathe in, breathe out. Bringing that awareness just to your own body. Noticing where you are on your journey. And we find when we're doing a lot of yoga on a regular basis that it starts to become a little bit easier over time. You know, flexibility is not the same as, you know, when we're building stamina and things. You can go running and stuff, and you can run and get quite quicker and quicker and quicker quite quickly. With flexibility, it's about doing it every single day, and it's about that work that's continually happening. So it feels quite often like a slower process, but it doesn't mean that it's not working. Because one day you'll look back and you'll look back to 6 months previously and go, crikey, I couldn't do that and now I can do this. So breathe here. One more breath in. We're going to lift all the way up. Slow and steady wins the race, as they say. And exhale all the way down. Good. Let's slide the bottom forwards. And then we're going to come down onto our back. Just have a little hug of the knees. And any movements that you want to make at all before we move into our relaxation. So it might be that you want to take a little recline twist here. In fact, let's all do a little recline twist together. We'll take the feet nice and wide. And then just allow those knees to softly come down to the right side with a nice wide-legged recline stretch. That's another really helpful one for these muscles around the hips and around Psoas and all those areas. Good. Breathe here. And just allow that to just soften down to the right. Inhaling deeply and exhaling. Good, nice work. And then very gently, let's draw the knees back to centre. Squeeze the tummy as you come through the middle, and then allow the knees to just softly, almost float down to the left side. Good. Nice work. Inhale and exhale. Good. Allowing the breath to be nice and soft. And then just gently in your own time, coming back to the centre. And again, just that ability now just to move around a little bit any way that feels good for you before you settle in your relaxation. Good. So relaxation, you're welcome to just kind of lay where you fall. Sometimes that's a good thing. Or it might be that you want to prepare a little bit and pop an extra bit of clothing on. That's okay too. The body does cool a bit when we come into relaxation. But once you get comfortable in whatever position you want to be in, so that might be on your side or it might be with your knees bent, or as I say, even seated sometimes. Sometimes people like to come and do some meditation in a seated position. That's okay too. Good. Wherever you are, I want you to maybe close the eyes or find a nice soft gaze. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, just see if you can relax the body. So let go fully. Take a scan around your body, letting go of the feet and the ankles. Good. Relaxing the legs and the arms. Feeling a lightness across the pelvis. Bringing the awareness to the moment, just to below the belly button, just to the sacral point, which we call Svadhisthana, which is the sacral chakra. This is our centre of creativity and fluidity. It governs all that kind of lower stuff alongside with the root chakra. But it helps us to be more flexible and adaptable. And the colour here that we work with visually, if we work with the chakra practice, is the colour orange. It's orange for strength and movement and fluidity. So maybe you want to just bathe that lower chakra in the colour orange. Just maybe focusing on that, any of you that can bring colours in. And just breathe in and breathe out. Finding the lightness around the hips and the pelvis. Good. As you relax the spine all the way down, take another breath in. Good. And then exhaling, bring that awareness just up to the point between your eyebrows, where we work with ajna, or the third eye chakra. This is our centre of insight. The colour attached to here is the colour blue, or deep blue, like an indigo, maybe a purpley colour. And that helps us to just be more aware of ourselves. Maybe turning the eyes towards the centre of the eyebrows, even with the eyes closed. Good. And then allow your breath to be nice and natural as you relax any tension between the eyebrows. Soften the jaw. Good. And just spend a little bit of time here just with your breath. Good. As we relax fully into our Shavasana relaxation, remembering that all of the work we've done will start to be kind of absorbed and put together when we're in relaxation. Yogic sleep or yogic meditation or nidra are all really, really beneficial for the autonomous nervous system, helping us to relax, feeding the system, nourishing your system. So we rest just for the next few moments, just knowing that we're in a safe and secure space just to fully let go. Let's begin to gently deepen the breathing. Start to just bring that awareness back to your body. Let's begin by just softly moving the fingers and the toes. Maybe finding a little bit of movement here as you just wriggle the fingers, maybe spread the toes nice and wide. And just allow that gentle movement, feeling of energy just to come back into your body. to bring the palms of the hands together and create just a little bit of heat and energy through the hands, taking the hands over the eyes. And just feeling that lovely sensation of release as you rest the eyes in darkness for a moment, before just opening the eyes into the darkness and then spreading the fingers, allowing the daylight to come in. And maybe sliding the feet up, you might want to hug your knees in or take some twists. Maybe coming to one side or eventually just bringing yourself up to seated. But there's no rush, just in your own time whenever you want to. Good. Nice work, everybody. Well done. And once you come to seated, just find a comfortable place to sit. Just relax, maybe closing the eyes for a bit longer. If that feels good, and just checking in with your body for a moment. So just noticing how you feel. Maybe you're feeling a bit calmer at the end of the session, maybe a bit more relaxed. Maybe the body feels a little bit looser. Good. We're going to bring the palms of the hands together again and just work a little bit here. So draw a little bit of heat and energy into the hands, activating into these energy points that we all have in our hands. Really give them a good rub through the fingers, just get that energy moving around your hands. Good. And then taking a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly, or just wherever feels comfortable for you. Just connecting in with your body for a moment. And just see if you can feel any heat or any sensations from the hands. Maybe just a nice warmth, feeling of security as you just reconnect with your physical body. Good. And those of you that work with visualizations, you can imagine maybe sending some energy into those centers of your body, and that can be a vision of whatever you want. You know, it can be a white light or a colored light, or you know, whatever comes to mind. Good, nice work. I'm going to gently relax the arms and then start to flicker open the eyes if you have them closed. And then let's lift the arms all the way up. And then exhale, bring them down. So find this lovely stretch through your shoulders. Inhale as you lift, really reach away with the fingers. Exhaling all the way down. So a nice long length through those arms. One more time, lift all the way up. Gather up all that lovely energy that we've created and bring it down to your heart center. And just connect here for a moment with any intentions, any sankalpa, what we call sankalpa. Anything that we want to bring into our lives, any goals, any health issues, whatever it is that we're working with. Good, well done. We're going to bring the hands all the way up to the forehead and we think kind and loving thoughts about ourselves and others. To the lips where we speak with kindness and the truth, and to the heart and we have a kind, open and loving heart. Namaste. Well, thank you. Thank you everybody, lovely session. So, I hope you enjoyed that. A bit more focused on one particular area, and we do, you know, from time to time I work with that. I used to do it a little bit more in the pandemic really, because I did so many of those classes online that I kind of ended up really focusing on this, focusing on that, focusing. So, you know, if anyone ever has a situation where they're like, oh, you know, I've got a frozen shoulder or I've got anything, come to yoga, because we're here for the healing. Sometimes I get this, I'm not coming because I've got this wrong, and you go, well, that's kind of like not going to the doctor because you're ill. Come to yoga because what that means is you can come and you can rest, you can enjoy all of the meditation and all of that side of it. And if you've had a little chat with me beforehand, then I can offer you something that which might be helpful, because I'm a body worker as well, so obviously there's a little bit of knowledge there. So I mean, there's so much to learn always. But yeah, so if you've got anything going on with your shoulders, or you have any particular conditions or anything like that, always have a chat with me and I'll see if I can integrate it into the class for you, because that's always fine. And I know a lot of people go, well, I don't want you to make it just about me, but that's what the classes are about. They are about you. So it's okay. You know, people kind of feel like, oh no, I don't want to be bothering everyone with my, you know, but actually it is about us all coming together as a community and saying, you know, we can do some of this stuff for ourselves. You know, as we all know, the NHS is under a huge amount of pressure. So obviously I never say that I can cure or fix anything, but through all of the work that I've done in the past, there is often things that can be done that can help you to manage things, or I can signpost you to somebody, or I can, you know, so don't ever feel like I'm too poorly to come to yoga, because that's, you know, that's what yoga's for, and whatever that takes, whatever form that takes as well. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week. Let's clearly we're not doing enough sun salutations at the moment, so you need to get on that in the morning if you can.